Plaintiff Tony Freeney always believed another man was her father until the age of 19, when her mother confessed from her deathbed that the defendant was actually her biological father. Tony petitioned the court for a paternity test because she wants to know the truth. Defendant Donald Houston admits he slept with Tony's mom, but says she was very promiscuous, and he believes she tried to pin Tony on him because his family was financially sound.
All right, and we are here today to determine paternity.
Yes, sir.
And that is whether Mr. Houston is your biological father?
Yes, sir.
All right, give me some background here.
Okay, sir. First of all, I want to say hello to you, and you my favorite. You always been my favorite.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
the support.
All right, sir.
All right, right now that makes 5.
But I'm the best.
One of the 5. You in the top position. You one of the 5 people who really like me. They don't just watch me.
Oh, okay, good. Well,
And they watch me every now and then. You one of the 5 that watches me.
I've been
all the
watching you
time.
for 20 years.
All right, and 5 is out of the 20 that watch. After 23 years, you're down to like 20 people.
Yeah, you lose a couple.
Yeah. Next year we'll have one viewer.
Plaintiff Tony Freeney says at the age of 19, she was told the defendant was her biological father, but she wants proof, so she petitioned the court for a paternity test.
All right, give me background.
All right, sir. Yes, sir. So the reason why I'm here today is because up until the age of 19, I believe that another man was my father.
Until 19?
Yes, sir.
Age 19 or 2019?
Until the age of 19.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Prior to that, the man that his name is Clarence, supposed to be my father, he was never involved in my life. I never, had any type of relationship with him at all. I didn't even know him. However, Mr. Houston was always an instrument in my life. He always was around me. I never understood why. Why is he always trying to be in my life? But I was a kid, so I was just thinking he used to date my mama. And maybe, he just liked me because he used to date my mama. But when I was 13, Clarence died. So in my head, I never had a father. My father is dead, so it's no big deal. The next year, my grandmother died when I was 14. I felt like I didn't have nobody. So I went to the streets. I was in the streets. And I was like 15, 16. Mr. Houston really was coming into my life. He the only man who was asking me about my grades, asking me who I'm dating, wasn't trying to have sex with me. So I trusted him.
You trusted him, and what happened?
Well,
You trusted him? Or?
he asked me to be his goddaughter because I was a gang member, and I was really rough, and I was rough with him because I was like, why you want to be in my life, and I was disrespectful, but he was just persistent. So he said, well, I'll be your godfather. I said, okay, fine.
You think there was a motive other than to help you?
No, I mean, when I was a kid, he used to bring me gifts to the house, but I knew my grandmother didn't really like him.
But I guess I would ask you, if your mother told you that Clarence was your father, and you saw him when, and how many times?
One time when I was like 8 years old, my
Okay,
uncle.
so one time at 8.
Yes.
And your mother told you he was your father, though.
Yes.
When did you suspect that Mr. Houston may have been? I mean, because perhaps, why couldn't you just conclude that Mr. Houston and my mom are just dating? He's coming over and he's dating my mom. Why did he have to be perhaps your father?
Well, he wasn't dating my mom during that time. That's
What
the
was
thing.
he coming over to do?
When he would come over to my grandmother's house to bring me gifts, it would just be like to the porch. He didn't come into.
He never saw your mother.
He
when
wasn't
he would
relationship.
come and see you.
No.
All right, and that's the only time you see him?
When I was young. when I was really younger. But when I got older, I would have
Older as in what age?
As in like 16, 17.
You saw him where?
I would see him often at his jewelry shop. I would go up there and visit him and stuff like that. We had a relationship.
And did you ever suspect then or mention to him?
No.
So that's what I'm trying to understand. When do you come to the feeling that Mr. Houston is, what age were you in? 19, you said?
Yes, I was 19.
All right. And that was based on what again? Because you had already been...
My mother. My mother, sir. So I had no idea, and none of this was in my mind at all. At 19, my mother believed that she was going to die. She thought she had cancer. And my mother sat me down and she talked to me. And she told me that Donald is my father.
Okay, that's when you got it from. When she was dying and told you that, your mom. Okay, that's pretty, yeah, that's what we call in the law a dying declaration, meaning people who are about to transition have no real motive to lie. And it's kind of like, let me tell the truth for the last time.
Interesting.
So that weighs a lot in the law. But paternity test says it all. But that weighs a lot, a dying declaration. Sir, let me hear from you.
Well, we all grew up together, Levada and myself. We all grew up in a tight-knit neighborhood in South Central LA.
City? Okay.
Okay, and her mother was kind of promiscuous with her lifestyle with a few other guys in the neighborhood.
Before she was born, is that what you're saying?
Before she was born. And I was skeptic about the whole thing because our family was the one that had a sound basis. We had a financial stability in our life. So I figured the mama would choose out of all the guys that she was.
Did you ever have sex with her?
Yes, oh yes.
With all these guys?
Yeah, she was kind of like, you know, we'd have sex, my friend would have sex with her.
How old? At what age?
That might have started around 16, I think.
Yeah, at that time your rich family were giving you money. You still you couldn't impress a regular woman?
Well,
I understand.
Okay.
You were young people.
All right.
Totally understood.
I agree with you 100%,
let's keep it for what it
Your
is
Honor.
then. Particularly when
I
you're
agree
coming
with you
here talking
100%.
big to me. Her mama was loose and everybody had a ball with her, including me. All right.
Okay.
You gotta be careful when you're describing somebody's mother. And then you talk about how big, about how rich you are, and how poor her family is.
I did not say her family was poor.
The implication was there, sir.
And the second thing
Why did you go out your way to tell us about your money? Why did you go out the way to tell us about your family money?
I went to say why they said I was the dad, the reason behind why I was
so now they're
the
trying
dad.
to frame you because you have money, because your family have money.
It's a possibility, but there again, it doesn't matter. I love this girl.
It matters
and
a
I've
lot
always
when you say
loved
what
her.
you said. It matters a lot.
Well, I petitioned you to tell me what would have been the right word to say in that instance.
Oh, you could have just said, no, she was seeing other fellas from what I understand, and that, no, I'm not sure I'm the father because she was seeing other people.
Okay,
That's
well,
not how you
I
describe
apologize
anybody.
to the court.
Plaintiff Tony Freeney says at the age of 19, she was told the defendant was her biological father, but she wants proof, so she petitioned the court for a paternity test.
Go ahead.
Okay.
All right.
So needless to say, she was very promiscuous, Your Honor, and that's what made me think, why was I singled out later on? Now, at the beginning of the relationship, I was told that Clarence was her father, and nothing about me came into play, right? And so later on down the line, finally one day, Levada told me, well, you know you're her daddy.
Down the line, how old was she?
You asked me to go way back, but
Was she under 10?
I'm not sure. What you think?
Okay,
Antoinette?
you have no idea when you were told by a woman.
I think I was an adult
That's
by then,
something
Your
you would
Honor.
always remember. Ex that I used to see told me that I had a baby that would never leave my mind, the age of that baby. She told me that her 3-year-old was mine. She told me that her 5-year-old was mine. You would know if you were told it was yours. Otherwise, that was very callous.
Well,
callous
I'll just say like
to be
this,
told that and not remember the age of the girl.
I don't even know her age right now, Your Honor.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you when you were told that. If a woman comes to a man right now, a reasonable man, and says, I have a daughter by you, I would never believe that a man would not ask how old the child is. Can't convince me of that. Go ahead, sir.
But I've been knowing her since she was born.
Once you were told that, I say you can't convince me of that.
Yeah, well, I've been knowing her since.
Sir, let me ask the questions.
Okay, ask your question, sir. Ask your question.
Give me the results. So I can get you out of here the way you talking so slick.
I'm sorry you think that way about me, sir.
Well, the way you talk.
I never had that intention in mind.
All right, well, that's the way you talk.
I came in here to try to...
I guess that's because your structure of your household programs you to feel that way.
And let you understand my point of view. That's it, sir.
Yeah, you're a fool. Unfortunately, it's not your father, and I'm glad it's not. He's a fool coming here talking to me like that, talking big about what you and your family got and putting her and her family down like you something special. You ain't nothing special. Otherwise, you wouldn't get set up.
We all
you
special.
Set up. Have a good day. You were set up.
Have a good one, brother.
Yeah. I ain't your brother.
Plaintiff Tony Freeney says when she last appeared on Judge Mathis, a DNA test revealed that the man she thought was her father was in fact not related to her. Tony claims she now believes she and the defendant share the same father, but unfortunately he is deceased, so she petitioned the court for a sibling DNA test. Defendant Tyshawn McCowan says his father passed away when he was 6, and at the funeral he was introduced to Tony as his sister. Tyshawn accepts Tony and they have a good relationship, but he doesn't know what to believe, so he agreed to the DNA test today.
All right, and you all are here to see if you're siblings, is that correct? And you've taken a DNA test?
Yes, sir.
Good, all right, give me some background.
Okay, sir. Well, for 30 years, I believed that a man was my father, that I came here about a month ago and you helped me clarify that he wasn't my father, and I thank you so much for that, for protecting me on that day. But now I'm here today with Tyshawn because after that, it was a little disappointment, but it was a lot of relief to find out that I could possibly still be siblings with Tyshawn. So when I was about 19, my mom told me another guy could be my father, but on my birth certificate is his father, Clarence. So today I want to find out.
Who you believed to be your father.
Right. Yes, sir, until I was 19. So
your mother told you, did she give you that person's name?
Well, we brought him last month, and he wasn't the guy. Yes.
So there you have it. All right.
Yes, sir. So now today, I'm hoping that Tyshawn is my biological brother because we do have a great relationship together. We've been having a relationship since I was 13. It has been a little strained because of all of what was going on. And about 17 years ago, after I had my son, I really start wanting to know the truth. And so now today, Tyshawn wants me to help him with some family affairs, and I want to help him with a pure heart, and I want to make sure that, and whether it is or not, my name is still on the birth certificate. He's still my brother, and, I want to have a relationship with him, but I just
Same names on the birth certificate?
Yes, we got the same names. Yes, sir. Yes, surname. Yes, that's the same name. So that's why at 19, it hurt me so much, when I was told that. And then 30 years go by without getting, you saw the guy I was dealing with. So you can understand it took 30 years for me to get that clarity. And, I thank God for it. I thank you for that. And now I just want to get the clarity with my brother because, he say we look just alike. So I don't know what you think.
You all do look alike, whether you're related or not. You certainly look alike.
We do.
Yeah, your head might be bigger than hers. Comes out, the top of your eyebrow comes out a little further. Other than that, you all do.
Plaintiff Tony Freeney is trying to find out who her biological father is. And she thinks she and the defendant may share the same father. So she petitioned the court for a sibling DNA test.
Let me hear from you, sir.
Yeah, I met Antoinette at my dad's funeral. I vaguely remember, I was young, I was only 6 years old, so I just remember saying, that, they were saying, this is your sister, and I was just like, oh, okay.
At the funeral, this is when your dad died?
Yes.
And that was what year again?
1986.
86, okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And so then I had seen Antoinette again, like at 12 years old. She was 12 years old, and it was like a Christmas gathering, and we had got the gifts and everything, and then
Christmas gathering where?
It was
At whose
in
house?
LA. It wasn't at no one's house. It was at a like a center for
Who hosted it? Which family?
it was hosted by victims of crime. Like
Okay. I was trying to see if there was a family member that
Right.
was acknowledging
Yeah.
and therefore bringing you all together. But
Right.
this was a charity.
And, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, because Clarence, when he died, he was a victim of crime, so we participated in it. Yes, sir.
Good.
Yeah, and saw her then, and then I didn't see her again until I was like 15, and she had came in, and it was like there she was again. It's like that girl coming and going. And so I'm just hoping that today we can get it clarified for her, because she does deserve to know who her biological father is. She's a good girl, and
And how are you so sure? If you all got the same last name and were introduced as children of the same man, you grew up in the household with him, but that doesn't always mean something, you know what I mean?
Right.
Well, for me, Your Honor, because for me, I felt
How
like...
you know it's your father? That's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Well, I had asked my mother the other day. I was
And
like,
so did she. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm just hoping that everything goes well with that too. But my mom said, "Oh yeah, I know who your father is." So.
All right. You were saying something?
Yeah, I was just saying, like, the reason why I chose Tyshawn out of all the siblings, because there is quite a bit of them, supposedly. But reason why I chose him is because the grandmother, Clarence's mom, she accepted him and his brother, and they lived with her and was in her household and everything like that. So, I felt that maybe she really felt that those were her grandkids. Now, he said, later on she used to tell them I was their sister, and she did accept me after the fact, but I don't know. I just felt like if I was right there, why she took them in, why she never took me in. So
I know you're ready to find out the truth, so let's get to it.
Tune in tomorrow when Judge Mathis will reveal the results of today's DNA test.